Off Nerd Podcast. I'm your main host, Kyle, along with Dan and Greg.
I said the show's canceled.
Right. All right. Now that I fixed it, the computer kept setting it back to auto, so it's putting it back on no matter what. So I fixed it. How are you gentlemen doing today?
A-doing? We're a-doing good.
I am doing adequate.
A-doing.
Sweet.
What's up? We're going to spin the wheel of doom right away? What's up?
Let's talk about our movies first, because I figured we'd get some distance out of them. Let's start with...
It seems like he liked his movie the least.
No, it's fine. It's just, I've seen a lot of Clint Eastwood stuff, and it seems like he tends to repeat themes. It's always about regret.
I'd have to say my favorite one's Gran Torino.
It's
yeah.
about what you should be doing as you get older and stuff like that, and that's what the Mule's about.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about it. Might as well go into it.
It's about an older man named Earl Stone who's been a traveling salesman or traveling around for work for his whole life, and he neglected his family. So the movie starts in 2005, and he's like running a garden for flowers. Wait, is there a special
A florist?
Not a florist. No, he grows them. He doesn't actually.
He doesn't.
Greenhouse? Botanist?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a special.
That's a
name.
scientist.
I don't know if there's a special name for his flowers. Anyway, so he does that, and then in like 12 years, it's doing pretty well, and he's a bunch of Mexican or Hispanic workers, and then 12 years later, it goes out of business because all the internet companies are selling a bunch of cheaper flowers everywhere else. So, and then he ends up going to his granddaughter's wedding engagement party, and then no one wants him there because he was never around. He was always going out to conventions and trying to sell his stuff and promote his business, but he never paid attention to his family. So his ex-wife was really harsh at him, and his daughter didn't even want him there. So he ends up going back to that.
So let's run some drugs.
And then he meets a guy at the wedding at the engagement party who sets him up to become a drug mule.
Oh, nice. Sounds like a great setup.
I guess because he wanted to try to provide for his family a way of helping them that he couldn't do before. And he becomes the best drug mule because he doesn't get parking, driving record completely clean.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's old. He doesn't want to drive. He doesn't want to speed anyways.
You're right.
Old people
driving.
So he starts out with an old beat-up pickup truck, and then he ends up with basically an Escalade, kind of. I don't know what the brand was. I wasn't looking at branding, but it's a black SUV pickup kind of thing.
It was probably an Escalade.
And then eventually you get to a part where the DA was having trouble, picking up the finding out who the drug mules were because he was so successful getting it past people because they were expecting someone younger.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so Lawrence Fishburne plays the agent in charge. That's literally his name on the IMDb page. He doesn't have a name as far as I know.
That's almost as good as penis grabbing henchman from Samurai Cop.
Now that's based on a true story, if I'm remembering correctly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Special agent in charge, Lawrence Fishburne.
Let me see. Let me look it up. Yeah. The Mule is based on a true story of an elderly World War II veteran who ultimately becomes the oldest and one of the most prolific drug mules in the history of the United States.
Nice.
Well, the only difference he's Korea because that's how old Clint Eastwood is.
Oh yeah, right.
So anyway, the first he ends up meeting the primary cartel leader, and then there's a party there, and he finds out what exactly he's supposed to be doing, and then he starts going off script a couple times because he's doing stuff for his family and all those other things, and not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
Like he ends up going off the road and helping people and with their cars when they break down and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So the first guy played by
It's a stupid name.
He hasn't been in stuff in a long time. He was Godfather Part 3, the son of Peter Corleone.
Yeah,
that was when he was younger. I forget his name.
I could not tell you to save my life.
Don Corleone.
Kind of how it went down.
That's
surprising.
Andy Garcia.
Okay.
And then he gets shot in the back of the head.
Okay.
And his second in command, who's been the first time he went there, he was like doing skeet shooting with a golden shotgun for some reason.
Well, if you're gonna do it, I'd do it with a golden shotgun too, because why not?
Why not have that thing?
And he was a guy standing behind him, and he ends up shooting the back of the head because he's like.
If you're gonna be in a cartel, you're not gonna be like a lame cartel guy. Let me.
We're gonna put some bling on our guns.
Yeah. If you're gonna be part of a cartel, you have to make sure everyone.
Reminds me of.
part of
You've seen End of Watch before?
No.
Well, that's Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena who's in this movie too. They play
End of Watch. Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah,
and they have a
good movie.
solid gold-plated AK-47 in.
That's actually a good movie.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets shot in the back, and then the second guy in command goes. He has to do exactly what we say. Don't deviate. Blah blah blah. There'll be consequences. All this other stuff. Right. So then this guy who was his handler before ends up having to follow him around in another truck to make sure he goes along with the plans. And then previous to that, a dude who was like doing some of the drug mule stuff before was flipped by the DEA because he was an idiot.
Right.
Showed his hand too fast and he was doing a bunch of stuff that he wasn't supposed to do. So he was the one intercepting all the communications. And then they ended up catching him at the end, basically, because the guy who was following him wasn't careful enough, as far as I could tell.
So how did it end? I never seen it. So
he gets caught, but he had a conversation with Bradley Cooper's character in a Waffle House when they got the other guys in one of the motels. Yeah. But he didn't get caught because they weren't expecting him.
Well, yeah,
he's
like
for the profile.
Right. Well, no, they were expecting.
So he saw him, and they just went to the Waffle House in the morning and talked to him about stuff, and told him about all his regrets and what he didn't do with his family, and what he should be doing. So he asked him if his job's interfering with his, family life and all that stuff.
Had a heart to heart with him.
Kind of. Not really. This is a casual thing. But then later on, when he catches them, he goes, you should probably not do what I've done.
Yeah, right.
Basically.
Should not follow in my footsteps.
And he ends up going to prison and doing the same thing he did at the beginning of the movie, growing flowers, except he was in prison.
Oh, well. Pretty sure there's not much more things to do.
Crime doesn't pay.
He goes, especially if you're 90 years old or whatever.
It super doesn't pay that.
Hey, Kyle, you want to go next? You want me to
I'll go next.
Although my details might be off somewhere, so don't quote me on some of this. I don't know.
I watched Pride and Glory.
This is great. I'm not familiar with this one.
Yeah, it's
actually a good movie.
Colin Farrell and Edward Norton. They play in-laws in a major cop family, and it starts out with like Edward Norton has this huge scar on his face, and they never really get into it, but they go into all this.
They never explain it.
They do, like near the end.
It's explained,
okay.
But near the end, it's like the last 20 minutes. It was just really abrupt. But Colin Farrell is the in-law. He's pretty much the whole family's a bunch of cops. Like their dad was a cop, and
we've got that when you say it comes from a line of family cops.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, stop critiquing me. When you start going da 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 da, I'll start getting on you.
I without a doubt.
Yeah, I know. So don't get on me. So
I saw a Seinfeld episode of that.
So the oldest brother is like,
will they go? Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Right. So the oldest brother is like working his way to be up, like to be police commissioner and all that. Like he's higher up and he's trying to get the captain. And the two younger one is Edward Norton, who stopped being a beat cop and became like a missing persons unit guy. And then Colin Farrell's character is just sergeant, I believe he was in that.
I don't think he made sergeant yet.
I think he was.
Was he sergeant?
Yeah, I think he was sergeant because He was just under the oldest brother. And the whole concept was that, like, they kept, like, beating around the bush with what was going on with Edward Norton. They went to do a sting operation. It turned out really, really bad. 4 police officers were killed. So Colin Farrell and Edward Norton are trying.
They're trying to do a bust up a drug deal or something.
Yeah, it was a drug sting.
Right.
And
It's like in some old abandoned
house
warehouse or something.
Yeah, it was like an apartment building.
Yeah, okay.
And the 4 cops got
It's been
killed.
a long time since I've seen it, so I'm trying to remember.
And their father goes in and says, "Hey, look," tells Edward Norton that he should get back on the beat and try to help, figure out who killed these cops. And, he's reluctant at first, but then he decides to do it, while Colin Farrell and his guys all of a sudden start, like, showing up at certain spots and, like,
derailing his investigation.
Yeah, they're derailing the task force investigations trying to find this guy. And when they first started showing it, I felt like they were just trying to, like, they were just going to kill the dude, and they were just trying to slow him down so they could just kill him without bringing him in and trying to do all the police work. They just want to kill him.
Right.
And then, like, 2 seconds later, I was like, nope, they're all dirty, because the one started doing cocaine right there.
Yeah, right.
Like, poured it into his hand.
Although, looking at the cast list, the Francis Tierney Sr. and his oldest son are guys who play skeezy well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
John Voight is known for skeezy stuff.
Yeah, but the sad thing is, like, so as they're going through this, Edward Norton finally finds a guy who shot the cops. And
they rat out.
They don't even rat out. He when he finally triggers him, corners him into this apartment building. When he gets upstairs, he finds the other 4 cops holding him down, crushed his neck in with a pipe, and are trying to kill him. Edward Norton tries to save him, tries to, keep CPR to keep him alive.
Resuscitate him, yeah.
Colin Farrell walks up behind
shoots
him.
Or something, right?
Takes his gun out of takes his gun out of his holder and shoots him 3 times. And then makes it very aware that they're all corrupt cops, and, and they implemented him into it by shooting him with his gun that way.
Saying that they don't trace it back to his gun.
Yeah, right. So he has to take part in it. That's when you get the exposition dump of, like, what happened to Edward Norton the first time. He got shot in the face by a kid.
So this is not the best movie of all time.
No.
He got 50 cents.
There's a huge amount of, like, I know you don't like this movie as much as you could, because you always say exposition dump.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle's never really been.
He's not a big fan of exposition dumps in the first place.
Yeah, right. So, it wasn't bad. Like, it was another good one. It was, like, so far you guys haven't really steered me too wrong with movies.
At the end, doesn't he? So if I remember right, at the end he locks the other guy in the bar and they just beat the crap out of each other. Correct?
Yeah, he shows up, clears out the bar after, because what happened was Edward Norton had to go to the city and, like, videotape, investigate what happened, because he didn't give his testimony of what happened the first time. So he had to appear in front of all the police officers that were involved. Everyone had to, appear to court.
Right.
And give their individual testimonies in private first before it gets released to the public. And Edward Norton was going to tell on them, and then about halfway through, he just decided not to, because the pressure from his dad and his brother and stuff about, don't throw other policemen on the brotherhood. We're a brotherhood.
Right,
yeah. Which, he finally caves, and he's like, you know what? I'm not divulging names. I'm not testifying. Plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. And as he's leaving, the other 4 cops are showing up, and instantaneous, Colin Farrell throws him to the wolves. Like, he's like, oh, I tried to save that guy, and Edward Norton's character just shot him 3 times while I was resuscitating him and stuff. And they were just going to railroad him.
because he wasn't in on the. They're trying to get him away. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they were without killing him, and they were trying to just decredit him, so that way they wouldn't get caught for being dirty cops. And one of the key turning points was as Edward Norton was getting ready to completely cave, because 4 cops were going to testify against him, and they were all the dirty cops, and he thought his oldest brother, who was, like, higher up, was just going to let them do this, and to protect his own image and protect his career, he was getting ready just to bite the bullet, and then his older brother's wife had cancer, and she was dying, and she kind of confronted him about it. She's like, "You need to do what's right. I'm dying. Don't let this be my last couple months on Earth if you lying and let your brother take the rap for all this." So he shows up, grabs Edward Norton, and they go to handle all the dirty cops.
He gets killed, right?
What, the older brother?
Yeah.
No.
I thought he did.
Colin Farrell's character gets killed near the end. But two of the main dirty cops that were like really street level guys, they were like, the one dude's like, "Oh, we need to stop here and collect our money and, rob this convenience store." And he's like, "Dude, we were just told to not do anything. We have to keep our heads low until all this blows over." He goes, "No, I don't have extra cash in my pocket. We need to do this." So the guy goes in there to beat up the store clerk, because he always beats on the store clerk throughout the movie. And the store clerk had enough and shot him in the back.
Nice.
And then the other guy ran in real fast to try to save him and shot some innocent person that was just standing in the aisles, thought he was holding a gun. And at that point, all the people around see this going on, and there was already high tensions because, city and cops, and the urban element doesn't like cops, and so it was getting out of hand.
Right.
He got cornered in the store because all the people on the streets started like flipping cars and bashing his car's windows. So he starts panicking. Edward Norton and his brother finally show up to that spot, and he's like, "I'm going to go get Colin Farrell's character. You get him."
That's when he locks him in the bar.
Yeah, he's down in a bar that's 3 blocks away. He shows up there and challenges him to a fist fight.
Yeah, he just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, and he barely... First of all, Colin Farrell versus Edward Norton.
Well, no, obviously.
Colin Farrell's going to win that fight fairly easily. Like, Edward Norton's scrappy and stuff, but Colin's got a couple pounds on him.
It's not like he's kept his American History X body.
Right?
He's gotten really skinny since American
Well, I
History.
know that.
Well,
He's naturally skinny. He just got really jacked
for that one, yeah.
For that role, yeah. So that fight scene happened.
I haven't thought of that movie in a long time.
Right? So after they fight, Edward Norton wins by beating him down with a cue ball, which is fine. That makes sense.
Right.
He's walking him through the streets trying to get him to the other police. Well, there's a riot going on because the cops won't let them perform street justice on this dirty cop. So there's riots going on, and one of the main...
Just let him go.
Yeah. Well, one of the main leaders of the riot was a man who was part of a gang, and he came back into town to visit his family. And the dirty cop showed up to get information from him, and they like beat him down, and he had a brand new newborn baby that was like 6 months, and Colin Farrell's character's like, "All right, call the fire department, tell him there's a baby with 3rd-degree burns all over him." And he picks up a hot iron and is getting ready to press it on this baby's face to threaten him to get information out of him.
Right.
And I was like, "Well, this is this is getting real ugly real quick." So near the end, the rioters find Colin Farrell's character, and they know he's a dirty cop.
Yeah, after he gets out of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they go to kill him.
He stumbles out of the bar.
And they're getting ready to kill Edward Norton too, but they're like, no, leave him be. They're just holding him down.
All right. Can we get to the end of this?
We're working on there.
Did the mob get him or not?
Yes, the mob got him.
All right, great. Obviously, he's the villain, quote unquote.
Yeah. Okay, Dan.
I know. I was gonna say, what the heck's your problem?
We'll rush you.
Why do I need a description of a mediocre movie at best?
Yeah, because that's part of this channel. No, that's more or less it. That's kind of really abrupt, really endly after that. Like, they didn't go into anything afterwards.
So the real hero of the story is the older brother who somehow has superpowers to resolve the situation eventually.
Yeah, because it did weirdly get resolved.
Because the way it sounds to me is that, like,
well, you just wanted him to stop talking about it. Why are you talking about it?
Well, I said I didn't want to describe it.
I'm just saying, you want him to stop talking about the movie, stop talking about the movie.
So, next is yours, Greg.
Event Horizon. It was actually a good movie. It has a really good plot. There's no like laws, like space movies a lot of times will drag on.
Yeah.
Just watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh my God.
Them and really slow panning shots.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that before?
I think I have, and I quit watching it.
That sounds about right.
But yeah, it has a really good movement. Like everything makes sense. It's in line. There's not very many
dumb people moments.
Yeah, there's not very
the things that make you mad.
It's one thing that I can't stand about a lot of movies is dumb people moments. Like they deciding to do things that normal people just wouldn't do. Like
we should.
Like there's an axe murderer. Let's go run by him.
Yeah, there's an axe murderer over here. So what we should do is move through this really loud room.
Yeah, right.
This piano and broken glass factory.
I think there's car keys right there, but let's not grab them.
Yeah, everything from Scream. Everything from Scream. Let's just talk.
Movie you might not like. What's that movie with Sandra Bullock where she's like floating in space?
I know what you're talking about. I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Sounds like
George Clooney's in it with the two, right? Yeah.
It sounds like another movie you wouldn't like.
So, anyways, it's about a doctor, Dr. Weir. He creates a ship called the Event Horizon that can travel through space time. Like it kind of creates its own wormhole. So instead of taking, let's say, a year to get to Mars, it can create a wormhole and go in a day. Mm-hmm. So apparently, on its maiden voyage, it goes to go somewhere else. They don't even know where it's supposed to go. They never explain that. And it disappears for, I think it's 7 years. And finally, it comes back and it has a distress signal. So they go to find it and rescue the crew members in the ship. And when they get there, all kinds of freaky stuff happens. Like everyone has these weird visions. Like the one lady has a vision of her son being torn to shreds, his legs being torn to shreds, and she has like a meltdown. Lawrence Fishburne is the captain of the ship, and he has, I guess, when he first became captain, he had lost one of his other crew members in a fire. He burnt to death. So he had a vision of his crew member.
I thought he lost like his whole crew because like everything went.
Just the one.
Okay.
Like,
I remember someone died.
Everything went haywire, and he got everyone out. But the one guy was catching on fire, and he locked him in.
Yeah,
the guy was
to save everybody else. So it was kind of post-traumatic stress.
So he sees that guy burning up, and so you find out eventually that the ship, wherever it went, they never, like I said, they still never explained that the ship actually becomes itself alive, and what it's doing is it's feeding on their emotions and their weaknesses, so it's making them crazy, right? And the doctor is so bent on saving the ship that he just can't let it go. And at one point,
so he was still in the ship.
No. He
went with the rescue team to get the ship.
Oh, I thought he was on the original one.
Okay. No, because he made it. He wanted to be there to see what happened, to try to figure out what happened.
So at one point, it's one of the dumb decisions that I obviously didn't like. Is Lawrence Fishburne standing there and he's like, "We got to get the crew off the ship." He obviously realizes something weird is happening. So he's, "We got to get the crew off the ship. We got to go." And the doctor is like, "No, we're not going anywhere." And he's like, "Yes, we are." Like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You'll walk home if you don't get on the ship." And the doctor goes, "I am home." And he disappears. And it's like, okay, stay here.
Let's try to find the
Lawrence Fishburne should be like, "Everybody, let's go."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who cares about that guy?
Right. He should have just been like, "Yeah, you're right. You're home. Goodbye. See ya."
Because the first thing is, obviously, his experiment didn't work.
Right.
Number two,
it worked, just not the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, right.
It took him 7 years to come back. This isn't working like it should be.
Right.
So there must be some other guy who understands this. And number three, we need to get out of here.
Right.
Yeah. We're seeing crazy stuff and bad things are happening. We gotta go.
Well, when the doctor says that I am home and disappears, he should have been like, "Okay,
yeah, I guess you are."
Hey,
did he literally disappear? Like right in front of their eyes?
No, he just took off.
Like moves into the shadows and just like runs away.
So he's like a ninja somehow?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He just like
Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park's a part-time ninja.
So the other dumb decision is in the engineering room, because they let the doctor, walk around freely after that, which was one of the dumb decisions that I said. The original ship has like self-destruct thing where it'll separate the main cabin from the back cabin where the generator is that generates the wormhole. And so he goes crazy and takes one of the explosives and puts it on the old ship and blows the old ship up. When they should have been watching him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
the one plot point.
So
it's really the most important plot point.
yeah, right.
So the annoying thing is the most important
Let's
thing.
not keep an eye on the guy that's obviously crazy.
Yeah, he's obviously going out of his mind. So the other dumb decision is the girl. They need these tubes that collect CO2. Mm-hmm. So like when you're breathing off your CO2, it doesn't kill you. And so they're in the engineering room creating those grabbing those tubes. And on the way out, she has a hallucination of her son on the ship, which she should automatically know at this point that her son is not on the ship.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah, right.
He's not there.
Right. So she turns around, obviously, because she has to, and goes and chases her son.
Oh my gosh.
And he leads her up this like stairwell and through these little tubes, and she comes out. She comes out on the edge of like, I don't know what to call it, a balcony, I guess, in the engineering room, and he like pushes her. She falls down. She dies, and it's like, duh, your son wasn't on the ship.
Yeah, the doctor pushes her off, right? Or,
No.
The
whatever the ghost is, the vision is, it pushes her off the ship.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I was like,
I
remember her falling.
and then right after, Dr. Weir finds her.
Yeah.
And then that's when he has the vision of apparently his wife had committed suicide. And like he keeps having visions of her while he's in the ship.
Now that I think about it, if I ever rewatch it again, it sounds like it's getting tedious.
It's actually,
it has a good flow actually.
Yeah, it's not tedious like it's taking forever. It's actually really
everything's moving.
No, what I mean by tedious is the dumb decisions are like reaching critical mass.
Yes, they're so like the dumb decisions are like
I guess
at important parts.
Yeah. The parts that most people wouldn't make these bad decisions.
Right.
So it's basically like a horror movie bad
like
decision.
if we were all in an airplane together and something was happening and Kyle goes, I am home, and runs away, I'm like, you can stay here.
You're bye.
Like, okay, goodbye.
Where are the parachutes?
Just go make sure.
Walk away.
Like, just go make sure you sit in the cockpit and you don't come out. Like,
wherever you are, we're not going to be.
Right. And they just let him roam around the ship on his own after that. And it's like, then, obviously the guy is going crazy.
And then, like, I'm glad you saw it because I couldn't remember what happened. Because I just remember all of a sudden he didn't have eyes anymore.
Yes. So
Dr. Grant.
So he has a vision of his ex-wife in the engineering room. That's where his thing that creates the wormhole is. And he sees his wife in there, and she's like saying something about, you don't need eyes to see in the dark, because wherever they're going, wherever the ship was, is totally dark. It's all evil.
I assume it was some sort of demon realm or something.
Yeah, yes, right. That's what I assume.
No.
The one guy says they went to.
You can say it because it's referring to the biblical thing. The rules say as long as you're referring to the biblical place.
So the one guy says that the ship went to hell and back. So they find the old crew's video recorders, like their daily logs. And the one guy is screaming that the ship went to hell. And now
they're all like cutting each other, eating each other,
like
and stuff,
and everything, and
going crazy.
So, anyways, he sees her in the engineering room, and she rips his eyeballs out because she says that he doesn't need to see in the dark.
And then my favorite part is they go to they get like a
so
weird...
there's a literal demon in there.
Yeah,
well,
like
the ship's alive now.
It pretty much explains
it's a demon.
The
ship's a demon. So what cracks me up is then all of a sudden they go to like the main part of the Event Horizon to see what's going on, and all of a sudden Dr. Grant turns around and he's like,
"Oh, real
with
slow, like that diabolical old school, evil, like slow turn in a swivel chair." And it, all of a sudden it pans in on his face and he's got no eyes.
And then he can see them because
but he's like super strong now. He like the one guy runs at him to like try to knock him off the chair, and he like stops him,
punches him
dead in his tracks, and picks him up by the neck and throws him against the wall. He's like super strong now
with no eyes too. Yeah, right. So now he's Daredevil.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's just like Daredevil.
Yeah.
So anyways, Lawrence Fishburne. What happens is Lawrence Fishburne tells the rest of his crew to go in the main part of the ship, and then he blows up the rest of it
with him in
with
it.
himself in it, and it pretty much rescues the rest of his crew. The ones that are alive, or the three of them. Three of them.
Was it 3?
Yeah, the first kid that gets sucked into the wormhole and comes back, he survives.
Oh yeah, well not the wormhole. He got shot out into space with no spacesuit on. Remember?
That's the second time. The first time he gets sucked through the wormhole.
Okay.
And they pull him back through, and then the second time he wakes up from his coma and goes out into the air seal,
the air duct,
and hits the open. And yes, he does get sucked out in the air.
So he kills himself.
No, he doesn't die,
he survives it.
Because what happens is Lawrence Fishburne and them are talking, and they're like, "Hey, he's like launching himself out in outer space." So he comes out. They were working on this old ship that got damaged, and he launches himself towards the airlock. And as it opens, he grabs the kid, and they fly.
He was only out there for like a second or two, but
yeah,
it's still enough to mess you up.
But they put him in like a hyperbolic
chamber to keep him alive.
Right.
Ugh.
It's a good movie.
Now, the part that also got me is right after we had all the Dr. Grant with no eyes, like when Lawrence Fishburne.
Then he has eyes again.
Yeah.
Right.
He goes to the core to stop this thing, which it doesn't look like scientific machinery. It looks like something that would be involved with demons. It's a giant, the thing from like Hellraiser where it's like all the moving parts. It's got spikes everywhere.
It's like that,
there's no conceivable way it was made for science. Like, someone had demons.
I haven't seen this movie since it came out.
It's still so good. But all of a sudden he shows up and he's got eyes again, but now all his skin's burnt up and
he's got
cuts everywhere, and he's got like super weird colored lips, and he's naked, beating on lips.
He like grabs Lawrence Fishburne's head, and apparently he can show him like his future or whatever. He like shows him all these torture devices that is going to happen,
and all this horrible stuff. And it's
But anyways, it moves at a good pace. There's no walls. I mean, there's only 2 really dumb decisions
that are major.
Yeah, right.
It's a horror movie, so
right.
But it has good movement. It's a good movie. It's got good actors in it. They all do pretty good too.
Yeah. That was such a good movie. I might watch that again just for fun of
it. It was. I would watch it again. It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it. I just like the atmosphere of it.
Now that we're at the bottom of the hour, look at that. We can spin the wheel to see our next section of movies.
Who's picking for who?
I
picked for both of you last time.
So the first time you picked for me.
Yes, first time I picked for you.
I picked for Dan. Dan picked for you.
Dan picked for me.
So let's reverse it the other way. Dan picked for me. I picked for you. And
I picked for Dan. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dan.
Go ahead, Dan.
I already picked for you the time before last.
What? No.
You picked for me. You guys
no, he did because he had me watch the.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Oh yeah, that one.
It doesn't. That's fine.
Ready? Go ahead, Dan.
All right. They go all the way around.
Yep.
What does that scene say? Turn the light on, Kyle.
I guess we can't be vampires.
I guess we can't be vampires, huh? Mystery.
Oh boy.
Picking a mystery for Kyle.
No, that's the movie he gets. So you're picking a mystery for him.
Oh.
So now I spin, and Dan's gonna. That's how you spin it, Dan, like a real man.
Price is right.
Animation.
Animated, some kind of animated movie.
Kyle's gonna love whatever you pick. It doesn't matter.
No. There's some really good French stuff that I've been willing.
there's a notebook.
Hero.
What's that?
Yes.
Hero.
Comic book heroes.
Okay.
Comic book movies. Yes. I've been waiting for this. Now,
is it going to be anime or is it going to be?
No,
it doesn't matter. I'm not a big hero movie person.
I'm debating. There's one that I have right now on Netflix on my watch list called Super Lopez.
Oh my!
Which is a Mexican version of a Bollywood movie, and it's hilarious because it's so bad.
What'd you get, Dan? I forget.
Dan got
mystery.
You got animated. I mean, you got hero. I got animated. So
hold on. Are we picking bad movies for each other this time?
No.
Or are we picking good movies for each other this time?
I always go for good ones.
That's what. Okay.
I usually pick something that's decent. I was debating on just picking a really bad hero movie
number
for
one,
you.
For the record, I am not choosing anime for you, so you're not getting. because you love that stuff.
Right.
You need
That's what I said.
different.
You can't go wrong with Kyle and animation.
No. There are a lot of
No,
non-anime
trust
stuff.
me, he'll find something.
I'm not gonna try to like get a bad one.
Yeah. So while we're looking, I took liberties and
I
watched.
assume you've seen most of the major Disney ones, right?
Yeah. While we're looking and trying to undercut each other with these terrible movies we're all looking up, I went and watched Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yes, I was going to ask you how it was.
It was exactly what me and Dan talked it was going to be about.
A bunch of over-the-top jokey stuff
It was a bro / rom-com.
with a really where they messed up a really good storyline. I bet
It actually wasn't too
but
bad.
the God Butcher thing was really awesome and really took a long
It's
time
not
to
as good as it should have been. I will tell you that. It's not as good as it should have been, but it wasn't the worst ever. They really downplayed the Necro Sword.
Oh yeah,
Do you want to watch another Nicolas Cage movie?
I'll watch whatever you want me to watch.
Please tell me you're going to put them over. Not the Beast!
Be that one. I guess that's technically. I already seen that one though. The Wicker Man.
Yes.
I've already seen that.
So it's I didn't like it because I'm not sure if who's the dude James Gunn, right? James Gunn's the director for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It was very James Gunny, and I'm making sure if James Gunn actually directed it or not because it seemed very much his style.
The problem with mysteries, there's so many different
Well,
genres of mystery.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, it counts as a mystery.
First part or second part?
You're watching both of them.
Oh, boy. Was that like 6 hours?
No, the new ones it's like 4 for 2 movies.
Yeah, it's 4 for 2. Yeah. So I want you to watch the first
I can watch both.
and the second. You're gonna really love the first. You should like the first.
All right,
one.
sweet. So yeah, whoever this director is, his name is Takai Waititi. I'm being dead serious.
Taika Waititi.
Waititi, right?
Watiti, yeah.
Well, there's an I in there, so
Takai Watiti.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to be James Gunn on a budget. Like he tried to do.
James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, but I'm saying when he did this,
It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, it was really struggling to try to be exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like bright and colorful.
Yeah, bright and colorful, and a lot of like music scores for like different rock songs or iconic songs, and that was really disappointing because it just wasn't as well done. And as much as I like Chris Hemsworth as Thor,
What's his name?
Chris Hemsworth.
There you go.
What did you think he said? What did he say?
He stumbled over Chris. He was like, "Where's
As much as I like him as Thor, his movies are really pushing the.
I'll tell you a good movie he's in is called Extraction.
Yes.
It's on Netflix. It's a great movie.
Yes. The problem is it's getting too broy. He's too.
Right.
He's moving away from the character of Thor to being the hot, jokey guy.
Well, it's not him. It's the way that the director is taking it.
Yes, but the director's taking it in the way that he started on.
I heard he got huge for that one. Did he look big?
Oh, what for this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's jacked.
I heard he got like.
He was
massive.
already. He was already big.
Yeah, but they said he got massive. For
He
this one.
is jacked in this one. Like
I heard he got.
he was.
I saw the trailer thing when Zeus
blew his robe off and he was naked.
and his like right here is like
his delts are huge.
gigantic.
Yeah,
Like
I heard he got
like
massive.
he was big for the first Thor movie and the second Thor. Like he's like, it was like almost rewatching the first Captain America movie where they had him really super skinny and then he got really jacked.
right.
Like it was that huge.
Yeah,
of a
I heard he
difference.
got massive.
But like you said, Gore the God Butcher, they did not do very. They did well, and it wasn't terrible. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did not do it as good as they did in the comic books, which we knew was going to happen. But they were really focused on the more rom-com side of things, which I hated because like they introduced Jane Foster as
she
Thor.
dies at the end anyways, right?
Which how they did it was fine. I was okay with that. They didn't drag it on. The thing I was also
She
worried
goes to
about.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
What did she die of?
She dies.
Cancer.
She dies.
Oh, okay. So
Well, she actually dies in battle.
Yeah.
They just
She-
shoved it. They shoved the whole cancer.
The cancer thing was part of it, and
Sub storyline.
it was like a side storyline of how she got it. Is I'll give you a quick rundown. Jane Foster was like the first girlfriend of Thor in all the comic books, and then she got cancer, and then also at some point she was worthy to carry Mjolnir, so she became like the new Thor.
Okay.
And she called herself Thor, even though
She wasn't Thor. Yeah, right.
yeah, they like yeah,
They could have just in the comics. They could have just said Jane Foster, Goddess of Thunder, or
something like that
Right.
instead of calling it
Instead of-
just
Instead of calling
Thor.
her Thor.
So
Yeah.
Thor, now there was two Thors, which they just stuck with that. They're like, you're a Thor now. Like they just whatever.
That makes no sense. That's
Yeah,
not-
Yeah, no, we already talked about that. That doesn't make sense in that
I've had a
context.
thing for this for 5 years.
Yeah, right.
So
He's-
whatever.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like nothing wrong with like making her, but my concern is what they were going to do is I came into this movie expecting them to dump on Chris Hemsworth to push him out because of what's her face, who plays Captain Marvel.
Brie.
Yeah, Brie
Brie
Larson.
Larson.
The way she was talking after Endgame of the next phase and Marvel was going to be a girl power phase, and that they were phasing out all the male characters to be a girl power phase.
And they turned around and killed one at the end of this movie.
Yeah, which is fine, which is great on the aspect of that Disney's not trying to do the shill stuff and letting Brie Larson try to run the show, because that was her whole thing. She's like, I'm going to be making some big changes.
That was kind of just like the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters did the whole female cast, and everyone thought that
that was more Kevin Feige.
Everyone thought there was going to be another 2 or 3 movies with them,
And that one completely failed though. But
That was a different problem. The problem with that one was that they basically had the same plot, except that the execution was way worse.
yeah, there was
Right.
these.
No, I'm just saying, like,
We'll
Yeah, I
talk
understand
about
what
we'll
you're
talk
saying.
about that another one, because I am actually there's some news about that coming up
I
here
was going
soon.
to say, did they come out with another one?
Yes. But they didn't do Gore the God Butcher as correctly as they should have.
Well, you can't really do that. Not in one movie.
No, not in one movie. They made it very rom-commy, like I said, because one of the big things is like, and they didn't focus on it being Jane Foster and Thor. It was the love connection, with a love triangle between Stormbreaker, Mjolnir, and Thor. Because they made the hammer super sentient in this one. So like,
So they went with that stupid story?
oh, kind of not in like a serious sense, but just jokingly.
Oh.
Because
in the comics, they literally made it
so
sentient.
like after Jane Foster gets shown as
Don't ask
she's
me
the like
why.
the new after Jane Foster gets shown as the new Thor,
Yeah.
he's all like upset, like he thought Mjolnir betrayed him and stuff, and he's like, and the Rock dude is cracking me up the whole time. He goes, "Yo, bro, so how's it feel that your ex-girlfriend and your ex-hammer are together now? That's kind of awkward, isn't it?" Like that's running jokes the whole thing. And
I
then
thought he had 2 hammers now.
no, that was from the past that he took from the past.
So he
And
put it back?
Captain America took it and did I don't know what with it.
Oh, he stole it?
Yeah.
Captain
He
America
took it. No, like Thor gave it to Captain America and he took back with the past, and we have no idea what happened to that one. But this is the one that got shattered by Hela. So
Yeah, I understand that, but I find it weird that one with Hela is somehow back together, and it gives Jane Foster the power of Thor, but
Well-
it didn't give Captain America the power of Thor.
Right.
Why didn't that happen?
right,
That's weird.
right.
Yeah, that's
This,
odd.
And why is it that if Thor doesn't have the hammer, I thought if he didn't have the hammer, he didn't have the
He
power.
didn't have power. Yeah,
So,
right.
like, he lost the hammer, he shouldn't have his power anymore.
right.
And then he gets, it takes him a whole nother movie to get an axe, but that didn't give him the power. He already had it.
Yeah.
So, I guess
All right,
the whole
Captain Continuity.
I guess the whole power of Thor thing isn't really a thing.
It's going out the window.
Right.
Holes have been poked. It's like Swiss cheese.
Yep. This ship's sinking now. So,
Captain Continuity.
Thor tries to pull the hammer towards him. Just
Yeah,
to
I
try
like.
to
He's just like me.
Yeah, I know. Right.
I didn't realize all that until like right now.
Yeah, it just kind of hits you. So he tries to pull the hammer towards him, but it doesn't move towards him. All of a sudden, Stormbreaker comes floating up, but he goes, "Oh, Stormbreaker, just the person I was calling for." And he holds it, and he's like, "How's it going, buddy?" And he keeps talking to it the whole time. And then, like later in the movie, he's like talking to Jane Foster, and he picks up Mjolnir real quick to see if he was still worthy, and it picks up for him because he's still worthy. It just
doesn't like him no more.
No, it's just responding to her because at one point after Odin died, her and Thor were together for a while, and Thor accidentally put like a magic on it. If Jane Foster's having trouble, it's going to protect her because she has cancer. It's protecting her,
right?
Trying to keep her alive.
Right.
So
doesn't work.
So when he goes to when she walks away with the hammer after he tries to pick it up, all of a sudden he's like this here, and he looks to the left, and the Stormbreaker's just floating there, like right in his face. He's, "It meant nothing, Stormbreaker."
Just think of it this way:
we were just having a talk.
There wouldn't be any modern world if the superheroes cured cancer.
No,
you know what I mean. There would
Right.
be no. It wouldn't make sense,
Right.
If superheroes could fix everything, why is there even conflict anymore?
Right. So like the whole thing is then all of a sudden Stormbreaker gets jealous partway through the movie and like shocks Thor and stuff and won't work for him, right? Because it's jealous of him still being upset.
Right.
It's weird.
It's kind of like playing on the old love. And
the triangle of love. Right. Instead of being Jane Foster, it's the hammers.
It's the hammers, right.
Which is whatever. That was probably the only part of the movie I really, really liked because it was just really good comedy, timed comedy. Most of it else was the one I was really looking forward to and I was disappointed and I kind of wanted to cry was Russell Crowe played Zeus.
Yeah, I was going to ask how that went.
He is not in great shape.
No, he's not.
No, and that's fine because in some of the stuff, Zeus is not in great shape either.
But he's Zeus. He can be in great shape whenever he wants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
It's not like he's some dude. He's not just some guy.
Some old guy with a beer belly. So how they played Zeus was, first of all, Russell Crowe played the very, very Greek guy. Like he went into full stereotype Greek guy.
I heard what happened was that they did 2 takes of everything he did because they wanted to figure out if they wanted to do one version
serious or the jokey.
Right.
Oh, they went hard on the editing for the jokey. Like he's super flamboyant and like super
Does he have an accent?
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds like a Greek guy.
They made him do the accent,
with a Greek accent, and it's so bad. He's like,
that makes no sense.
And it's a real light tone to it too. It's so weird. And
that is weird.
What they decide to go with
I am
is
Zeus, the king of the gods, and I can't have speak English without an accent for some reason.
No, he didn't have his English accent. He had like
I mean English without an accent.
Oh,
he shouldn't have Greek accent. It should be whatever English.
Well, he's just
right.
He's saying that he's created.
Yeah. So okay. No, I see where you're going now. I mistook that. So
the word doesn't speak English.
So like it's just so
yeah, right.
It's so crazy because it was just very over the top, flamboyant. It was
neither does
crazy.
Yeah, whatever the Asgardians speak, it's not English.
Yeah, right.
I doubt it.
The Norwegian.
It's not the Swedish chef language. Whatever it is.
Herbendur.
Bork. So, like, you know how they did with like some of the later movies where Thor's always trying to show off and like doing tricks with his hammer and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, they went into the backstory. He's like, I always had admiration for Zeus. Thor had like a fanboy of Zeus. Was a fanboy of Zeus. That's where he like learned all his like stupid stuff because he was trying to mimic Zeus, trying to pretend to be like him.
Yeah.
He's like, that's why I call myself the god of thunder, because he's the god of lightning. So, you know, I want to be the god of thunder. It's because we could like be a dynamic duo and stuff like
weird.
that. Yeah. Very much so.
Anyways, would you watch it again?
No.
That's all that matters.
They introduced Hercules into it. And
oh, really?
Yes.
Who plays Hercules?
Some British guy.
Some British guy.
You ever seen any Ted Lasso?
Sounds familiar.
Well, he's one of the soccer players
in that guy. I've never heard of this dude before, but he really looks the part, though. I will give him that much. Brett Goldstein.
Blonde hair, dirty blonde hair.
No,
he's Jewish.
Right there. Very
Goldstein. Very Jewish.
Okay.
He very looks the part too.
What's the date? What's Jason play?
Ted Lasso. So I'm okay with it. The look was great. The rest of it I didn't like. It was very hokey, really playing stuff. So I'm really kind of hoping they stay away from Thor.
Oh, they
movies
just
for a
chose
while.
that guy because he's relatively famous and is really hairy.
Yeah, pretty much.
like Hercules is in the comics.
Yeah.
So how did Maeve like it?
Yeah, she loved
Oh,
it.
of course Maeve liked it.
So here's
She's a
Hercules in the
kid.
comics. See how? Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty close.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hairy man.
Okay.
So
So I'm guessing they're gonna do Hercules movies then, now.
we're probably getting one.
And here's him and Ted Lasso.
Got you.
Here's him and Ted Lasso.
Oh, did you hear? So, kind of like off topic. Well, not really off topic. But did you hear that? Who's the guy that plays Flash?
The weird guy
Yeah.
who
Beat women on the street.
like tries to make people not leave his house and stuff.
Disney has announced that he's done.
Not Disney,
or
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers has announced.
Good.
Warner
He
Brothers has
shouldn't.
announced that he's done.
He better be.
They said that because they're so far.
Ezra Miller.
They said
Ezra Miller.
They said because they're so far in the movie though that he's gonna do he's gonna be the Flash in the movie because they've already gotten most of it filmed, and that's it. He's not.
He's
no
done.
longer.
He's
no longer
Dunyan
gonna be
Rings.
part of it.
Yeah, he's going off the rails.
Yeah, they said he was too much of a risk.
That's a way
I
to
was like,
put it.
really?
The PR on that is not good.
Right. You think so?
That and Amber Heard, they're not good for acting.
Oh my gosh, dude, she's trying to appeal it.
She's not getting over with that.
Can you imagine another Johnny Depp trial?
No. I don't think she'll get that far. So Love and Thunder was
You see
probably by far the not best Thor movie.
Well, I'm not a big fan of hero movies, so.
I know.
And unfortunately, I spun hero on the wheel. Oh, wait, what's my movie before time runs up?
We got
7
minutes. So what did you come up with for him?
He's watching it.
Oh yeah, it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I
I'm
forgot.
not telling you mine. You tell me yours first.
All right.
Because you did you even look one up?
No, well,
So no, okay. I'm waiting until you actually have an answer.
I'm trying to think of a hero movie you would like enough that you would watch it without. You watch Batman. That's a hero movie.
I watched Batman because I knew it was going to be a crap show.
But you watch all the other Batmans too, and you think
No, I didn't. I didn't watch all the other Batmans. I watched The Dark Knight.
I thought you watched
And
the
I
old
watched
ones.
the one when we were kids.
Yeah,
That's it. I watched 3 Batmans. Out of how many movies?
What kind of hero movie are you thinking about? Because I know them all, so it's not like...
I was trying to think of something that fall
you
into
can
Greg's.
pick whatever you want.
We're not talking about the '89 Fantastic Four where they just did it so to keep the rights, and then there's a Captain America where he literally had the old suit with the wings on his head.
I'll go home and watch Meteor Man again.
Ooh, Cheetah threw a good one.
Meteor
The
Man.
Watchmen.
I watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
With what's his name? With the
Rorschach.
mask yeah.
That's a hero movie.
I've seen that.
The dark and gritty hero movie, but
It's a good movie. It's a good
I know.
movie.
I'm saying that's the hero movie.
Oh
so,
yeah, okay. I've seen that. It was a good movie.
Oh, so because Cheetah just threw that out there, I was like, oh, that's a good
Is
one.
Dark Man
That was a good one, Cheetah, but I've seen it already.
Oh, Liam Neeson is Darkman. Oh, that's a good old one. Or The Shadow with
Alec Baldwin. Whatever, no.
Listen, just pick one.
All right.
You don't have. You can do whatever. I'm just giving you a suggestion.
Let's do Captain America, First Avenger. We'll start you off right.
The one with what's his name? Like the very first one?
No, the one that with Chris Evans. The
Okay.
first one with Chris Evans.
You've never seen that? Oh, okay.
I'm not a hero movie person.
That one's actually a good one where he shoots a lot of people. So I was gonna let him do the Winter Soldier, which is a way better one.
So you have it. You have both its though. You have to watch them both.
If we're gonna do a double feature, then you have to watch Winter Soldier afterwards too.
Okay,
which
whatever,
Winter Soldier is
works.
really
I can
good.
I can do that.
He would like Winter Soldier.
Are we doing 2 movies then?
Might as well.
You don't
So
have,
you're doing Song of the Sea.
He already had it on top of his head.
No, I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
And The Secret of Kells by the same guy.
All right.
So
Send me that.
It's about Irish legends and stuff.
Send me it in a text message so I can remember it. Are they on anything I can actually watch them on?
I have no idea. That's your business.
That's your business. Might be on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find them.
He told me without giving me any suggestions where it is. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So
look, if you can't find
it should be on.
If you can't find
the first, it's definitely on Netflix.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the second one is not.
Netflix. I don't know about.
We'll figure out the second one for you. So two other things, real quick. Number one, Resident Evil series just came to Netflix. That new one we saw that we were like, it's gonna probably be as bad as
Raccoon City.
Yeah, it's a new one called Resident Evil. That's it. And apparently, it takes place after everything that happened, and they're like, the Umbrella Corporation's trying to make up for what they did. Please join our city, the new Raccoon City. So, I think we should all watch this so we can talk about how terrible it is.
That's good because I'm in the middle of the books right now too. So.
Yeah, well, I don't think this has anything to do with the book.
By the way, Raccoon City pretty much follows the third book. The last movie pretty much follows the third book.
Okay.
Yeah, the first 8 is on Netflix. I don't know where the second one. I'll have to look up the second one for you.
I texted you the titles.
Thank you. So that's the first thing. And the other thing we get to watch here soon, Greg, is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh gosh.
Oh yes.
I refuse.
You don't have to watch that.
Yeah,
one.
you don't gotta watch it.
I don't like that at all.
It's not for everyone. We like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of reminds me of like a vampire version of The Office.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I kind of get that.
and that's what it kind of is, and I can understand why.
But
you don't
I
like
find this one funnier than I hate The Office. I think we've had this chat, right?
Nobody likes The Office.
We had this chat.
Not even The Office.
Are you kidding me? I have people rave about it to me. I'm like, have you watched it? Yeah, like 7 times. I tried 7 times.
You know
to
what?
watch it.
They're
It
the kind of
sucks.
people that think WWE's real, so let's not talk about them. So, that's pretty much the show.
We got to finish the Umbrella Academy too.
We can't finish that till Cheetah goes
Well, yeah,
back,
I know
so
that, but I'm saying
we'll worry about that later.
So anyway, if you
Unless
have trouble watching,
unless Cheetah's cheating on us and watching it without us.
She's probably not. She is too lazy to do all that. So, I think that's going to be our show tonight. Have everything covered. We're all set. Dan already knew what he's picking out. He's like, suck and see. Like,
well, no, I went.
It didn't take long to pick the second one either.
No, he was prepared.
It's by the same person.
Yeah,
right?
you were prepared.
Well, I looked it up as soon as I got the choice. I looked it up.
The other follow-ups is I officially announced the winners of our sub drive.
Yes, we know. We know.
It's
Cheetah.
on our Facebook. Along with, we should have some special guests next week. All right, so we're not watching that either.
I said no crap. You knew she was going to get mad if we watched it without her.
Okay, so we're not watching that either. All right, so we're gonna watch Resident Evil. That's all we got. For the next...
Well, we can watch Tinseltown.
Yeah, we can do that too. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you for listening.
All right, see you.